We talk about this emotional guidance scale, and on one end of it are things that feel like appreciation and love and joy. And that is where your perception of your empowerment and freedom is. And on the other end are feelings like depression and fear. And those emotions are accompanied by your perception of bondage or not freedom. And we talk about all of the emotions in between as you go from that feeling of depression or despair into fear, into rage, into anger, into less anger, into overwhelmment and frustration, into pessimism, into optimism or hopefulness, into believing, into knowing, into the zone that is really more natural to who you really are. You could give hundreds, if not thousands, of different words that describe these emotions, and all of them are important. But what we want you to leave this gathering remembering is that you really only have two choices at any point in time, and that is upstream, downstream. That is feel worse, feel better. And no matter what you call it from where you stand, you are putting your boat in the stream where you're putting your boat in the stream. In other words, you're putting your boat in the stream where you are. You might be putting your boat in the stream in the middle of a disease. You might be putting your boat in the stream in the middle of a bankruptcy or in a failed marriage or in the middle of something really going wrong in your life in some way. You might be putting your boat in your stream feeling wonderful. You might have just received a $100,000 bonus on something. You're putting your boat in the stream wherever you're putting the boat in the stream. But wherever you're putting the boat in the stream, you have an option of upstream, downstream. You have an option of feeling worse or feeling better. The thought relative to emotion that you are wanting to hold for a little while, let's just use one word for a little while and let that emotion be the emotion of relief. Because when you are willing to reach for relief, that means you're willing to let go of the oar. It means you're willing to let yourself turn. It means you're willing to let yourself begin to go with the flow. And when you begin to let yourself go with the flow, you feel as good as you can feel right now, and it's enough. Jerry and Esther, they travel around in their monster bus towing a car, and as they are moving around, some cities, the metropolitan areas, especially California, on the East Coast, Chicago, Detroit, there are some cities where the traffic really, really bogs down. And sometimes they will be sitting in traffic, not moving at all for a while. And Esther is particularly a little uncomfortable with that. She likes setting her cruise control on 75 or 85. It sort of depends on where she's going. But sometimes they get in this stationary traffic, and she's sort of thumping her fingers on the steering wheel. And it's an odd thing to have been going 75 miles an hour and now to be going 0 miles an hour. It feels uncomfortable. But do you know, when the traffic starts moving, she always feels relief. And suddenly, even though they're not going 70 miles an hour or 60 miles an hour or even 50 miles an hour or even 40 miles an hour or even 30 miles an hour, she's going 5 miles an hour or 10 miles an hour, but she's not unhappy now because she's beginning to move again. In other words, this is the sensation that we want you to try to garner within you. We want you to realize that when you let yourself go with the flow, and when you understand that that flow is a stream of life, and you understand that it is carrying you to everything that you have become, then you can relax and you can begin to enjoy the ride on the river. So often you say, well, I'm over here and what I want's over there, and when I get over there, I'll be happy. And we say, if that is your philosophy, you'll never get over there, because you can't get over there if you're unhappy over here. Because if you're unhappy over here, you're pointed in the wrong direction. And even though to some degree the stream is carrying you, you see the aerial view of you. All these people going backwards down the stream. Paddling so hard that you're not having a good time. And paddling so hard, you're missing all of the opportunities the stream has lined up for you. They're right there in clear view, but you're focused the other direction, and you're so tired and exhausted from your struggle that you're missing all of the opportunities that are right there in plain view. Where if you chill and let yourself go with the flow, that's what your intent was. We have enjoyed this interaction immensely. Well, now you have the big picture. Now you know who you are, and you know that you come forth as magnificent creator. And we want to have explained to you that the process is really 3 steps. Step 1 is you ask. And your life experience and the contrast of it causes you to do that all day, every day. Step 2 is source answers. And we want to embellish that even further by saying, not only does source answer, source becomes the vibrational equivalent of what you are asking for. The source version of who you are is a beautiful sight to behold. And as that being, that is you, stands there in that vibrational escrow and offers the signal, and law of attraction responds to the vibration of that which you have become, a current is established that if you will listen for the call of source, you will always know which way to go. A few weeks ago, Jerry and Esther spent a weekend in a hotel with kids and grandkids, and Kate, who's 4, had a wonderful game where she took a little toy car and would hide it somewhere in the room. And then Jerry and Esther's job was to find it. And she would give them clues. You're getting warmer. You're getting warmer still. You're getting warm. You're getting really, really warm. You're hot, 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 hot. You're cold. Now you're cold. Now you're cold. And just by paying attention to Kate's careful direction, they found the car every single time. And we want you to know that you have emotions within you that operate on a similar principle, in that the closer you are to who you have become, the better you feel. And the further you are from who you've become, the worse you feel. It is a vibrational relationship, you and you. It's like the guidance system in your vehicle. Jerry and Esther have 4 different kinds in 4 different vehicles now, but they're all the same principle. The system knows where they are, they program in where they want to go, and then the system gives them turn-by-turn directions. And you have the same experience in that you are vibrating where you are, but your vibrational escrow is vibrating where you have become. And if you'll listen for that call, you'll know which way to go. So sometimes you say, well, I would like to follow my bliss, but from where I am, I can't even get a whiff of bliss. And we say, that's right, isn't it? In other words, when you are in despair, that vibrational frequency is very different from the vibration of bliss, far enough sometimes that you can't hear it. And so what does the call of source sound like? How do you know that you are going in the direction of that which your inner being is calling? And we say, well, if you're in appreciation, the call of source feels like goosebumps all over your body. If you're already in appreciation, the call of source feels like love. It feels like rapture. It feels like passion. It feels like ecstasy. It feels like, get out of my way, I'm going to do this, and it doesn't matter what any of you think. I know this is the right way for me to go. That's what it feels like when you're already close to the vicinity. But if you are over here in despair, the call of source may very well feel like rage to you. And this is where that emotion called relief comes in. If you, standing there, acknowledge that you feel better now, then your guidance is working for you. Your family and friends, usually, they liked you better when you were depressed. You stayed out of their way. You were no trouble at all. And when you move into the revenge mode, they take you to anger management seminars. But if you are thinking in personal terms about your own vibrational countenance, you know that when you feel fear or depression, that you can hardly get a breath of air, and you know that when you feel rage or revenge, you're at least breathing again. And we're not encouraging you to get into revenge and rage and stay there. We're just saying it's a step in the right direction. If you let go of your oars from paddling upstream when you feel powerless, you might very well turn right into a little float trip that takes you through revenge and rage. But if you keep reaching for the thought that feels better, you'll float right on in to feeling some frustration, and you'll float right in to feeling some hopefulness, and you'll float right in to knowing who you are. You'll float right into the natural essence of who you are. But you got to stop the struggle. We are eager to talk with you about anything that is important to you. There is nothing that is off limits, no subject that is out of bounds. We see our greatest value to you in coaxing you into alignment with who you are. So as we visit together, we won't spend too much time validating where you stand by coaxing from you details of the unwanted life that you may be living. We will instead coax you toward feelings of relief, because from our point of view, and we are oh so old and oh so knowing, we know that you have created such a wonderful life for yourself, and it is only an allowing away. And the allowing is so much easier than you know. But it is the antithesis of what so many of you think that it is. It's about trusting that you are good. It's about believing that you are good. It's about knowing that life is supposed to be good. It's about feeling for that which feels good. It's about training your mind into a belief in yourself. It's about training your mind into a positive expectation of things working out well for you. And you're not going to do it all at once. You're going to do it a little bit at a time. But the most wonderful thing of all about law of attraction is that with every small effort you make, as you turn in the stream, the evidence that will surround you because of that small effort will be all of the validation that you will need that you have made an improvement in your vibrational countenance. We're going to begin right here on the aisle.